Hey there, future time wasters and virtual world travelers. Today we're going to check out games that are so vast you might forget just to go outside this year. We got a whole lot to talk about. We got cyberpunk cities to mythical adventures. This year is set to be an amazing year for open world games. So without wasting any time, let's jump right into it. Kicking off our list at number 10, we have Spine, a game that's bringing the neon-lit streets of Cyberpunk City to life, developed by GOTY. Spine tosses you into the shoes of Redline, a street artist with an attitude problem. Alongside your AI buddy Spine, you'll navigate a city controlled by an AI regime that's forgotten the meaning of, like, be chill? Now let's talk about the gameplay, and that's why we're all here, right? Forget about just shooting from a distance. In Spine, you get up close and personal, okay? You'll get in their personal bubble. Make sure to boost your reflexes, though, with Spine augmentations, which I do recommend. And get ready to perform a ballet with guns. Oh, I love guns. No, I'm not making this up. It's gunfight meeting choreography. Think John Wick meets Swan Lake. It's beautiful and like, holy smokes, there's so many guns. The combat choreography is crafted by actual action movie specialists, so every gunfight feels like you're in a blockbuster, minus the overpriced popcorn, which I still buy every time. Remember those action movies where the hero takes on 100 bad guys and there still is time for witty one-liners? Well, Spine is your chance to be that hero, and gosh, it is such a guilty pleasure. Now, as for the release date, GOTY hasn't given us any hint at a date yet. It's a well-guarded secret, probably locked away in a vault somewhere deep underground. Probably along with the recipe for Coca-Cola. Number 9, Black Myth Wukong. At number 9, we have Black Myth Wukong. After 3 years of nail-biting anticipation, thank the good Lord, it's finally set to make its entrance into the gaming world on August 20th, 2024. That's right, later this year, you'll be spending your summer not at the beach. Ha! Who needs that? But probably in a dark room in a basement, all alone, stinking up a place and having too many Red Bulls. Just you, your console, and a mini fridge, living vicariously through a mythical monkey. Wukong will be available on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC, because why limit the monkey business to just one platform? You gotta share the love with all of them. The game is not just another action RPG, though. It is a deep dive into Chinese mythology based on the 16th century classic Journey to the West. I've read that. The game has stirred up quite the excitement. But here's the twist, you might not actually be playing as Su Wukong himself. Fan theories suggest you could be playing as a clone, or even that six-eared guy, a villain from the original story. Imagine that. You could spend hours thinking you're the hero only to find out you might be the villain. Plot twist. If you're a fan of Souls-like game, this might be your new obsession. Think Sekiro meets Mythical China with just the spritz of Dragon Ball Z for good measure. Our protagonist Wukong comes equipped with an extending staff, the ability to create clones, and cloud traversal. I love that part. And let's not forget shape-shifting and time freezing, because why fight like a mortal when you can fight like a god? Of course, no game release is complete without a bit of controversy, so Game Science, the developers behind Black Myth Wukong, faced some criticism over sexist comments made by its founders. It's almost as if they took the myth part of the title a bit too seriously and decided to add some real-world drama to the mix. Whether you're in it for the lore of the gameplay or just want to see if a mythical monkey can really save the world, August 20th, 2024 is the date to look forward to. Moving on to number 8, PAX Day. Now that's a game that's getting ready to turn your spring into an epic medieval adventure, or a medieval chores simulator depending on your playstyle. Developed and co-published by Mainframe Industries and New Tales, PAX Day is gearing up to be the next big thing in the MMO universe, and that's a bold claim. It's set in a fantasy medieval era, which means you'll be crafting weapons, armor, and building homes, basically living the medieval dream without the actual plague and feudal oppression. That's so much better. PAX Day is not your average hack-and-slash fest, it's a social sandbox and MMORPG that's all about player-driven economy and crafting. So basically it's a way more mature version of Minecraft that meets the Game of Thrones, minus the dragons as far as we know, and Khaleesi, which I'm sure many dudes are like, no, why can't there be a Khaleesi in this game? There might be. Moving on, every item in the game world will be player crafted, so if you ever wanted to be a medieval blacksmith or carpenter, here's your chance to shine! Smash that metal, baby! Be a blacksmith. No, players will play as humans. Sorry, there ain't no orc or elf avatars here, so get out if you're one of those people. Now, you can work alone or team up to achieve common goals. The game promises no NPCs to give out quests, but the environment will be rich in lore and mysteries. So, from what I'm seeing here is that you're being dumped in a medieval world with a figure-it-out-yourself sign. Now, before you put on your virtual chainmail, PAX Day is going through a series of alpha tests. The first closed alpha kicked off last November, and there's a second one on the near horizon. The game is slated to enter early access this spring, and this phase is crucial for the developers to gather feedback and improve the game. There's a single purchase box price for early access, but the specifics are mysterious. Moving on to number 7, we have Project Mugen. So, Project Mugen is still playing hard to get with its release date, those little turds. But one thing we do know for sure is that it's going to be on PC, mobile, PlayStation 5, and PlayStation 4. Oh my gosh. It's going to be a full free-to-play title. That's a good thing because I'm a little broke. Developed by multinational team of NetEase Games, Thunder Fire Studio and Naked Rain, Project Mugen is the gaming world's answer to a cultural melting pot. This urban open world RPG is set in a world where urban legends are more than just stories your grandma tells you to keep you inside at night. It's a place where the supernatural rubs shoulders with the mundane, and you play as an Esper known as the Infinite Trigger. What a dope name, right? That's what they called me in Call of Duty because all I do is lay the hammer down. Anyways, the game promises an urban open world setting. Picture neon-lit nightlife, serene parks in each corner of the city holding a story or supernatural creature. The combat system is all about team play with characters having unique abilities that synergize like a well-choreographed dance crew. In Project Mugen, getting around isn't just a means to an end, it's an art form. Characters have basic movement skills like parkour because why walk when you can flip and roll, right? Haha, just like Link and Zelda. And some even have special travel abilities. Yes, you can hijack cars because why not? Number 6, Squadron 42. Now this is a game that's been coming soon for what feels like forever. So when can we actually play it? That's the million credit question. Originally announced a while back, the game has seen delays on top of delays and it's getting annoying. The current guesstimates place the release somewhere in the vicinity of late 2024 to mid 2025, but hey, time is relative in space, right? Squadron 42 is promising to be much more than just a normal space sim. Of course, I'm like, we know, we've been waiting forever. But anyways, it's supposed to be interstellar epic. It's a single player campaign that is set in the Star Citizen universe and is like the love child of a high-budget sci-fi film in a video game. You'll be stepping into the boots of a rookie pilot in the United Empire of Earth's Navy. Sounds fancy, doesn't it? Ooh. The game's cast reads like a who's who of Hollywood. We're talking about Mark Hamill, Gary Oldman, Gillian Anderson, among others. These aren't just voice actors. Their performances are captured using advanced motion capture technology. It's like they're really there in the cockpit with you. Like we can expect to see a blend of space dogfights with first-person shooter elements all wrapped up in a story-driven package. The game promises to take you from kilometer-long capital ships to city-sized space stations to remote moons. Missions will offer multiple paths to accomplish your goals, and advanced enemy AI that will adapt to your strategies. Crap. So it's not just shoot and scoot, it's more like think, shoot, and then scoot really quickly. Now as for where you can expect to play it, so far it's being developed primarily for PC. No word yet on whether console players will get to join the space parade, but I'll be keeping my telescope pointed towards the horizon for any news and I will let you know. Number 5, Dragon's Dogma. Oh my gosh, the music in this game is so freaking good! I love Dragon's Dogma! So, Dragon's Dogma 2 will be available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and Steam. Now first off, let's set the stage. This is not a game, okay? It is a full-blown fantasy drama. Oh, it's so good! This is set in the kingdoms of Vermund and Batal, each a blend of political intrigue and environmental challenges, like imagine Game of Thrones, but with way more dragons and less coffee cups on tables, okay? In this fantastical world, you're not just dealing with your run-of-the-mill humans, we've got beastrons and elves who are, as usual, playing hard to get. Each character has their own backstory and motivations, making the world feel full and alive. You play as the Arisen, because who wants to be the Fallen, right? They're losers. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, involves battling monsters, exploring vast landscapes, and probably making some tough moral choices along the way. And remember, you're not alone. Pawns are there to help you out, serving as devoted companions because everyone needs a friend in a world where giant Talos roams free. Now let's talk about the new vocation, the Trickster. If you ever wanted to bamboozle your enemies with smoke and mirrors, literally, this is your chance. The Trickster is all about creating illusions and deceiving enemies and supporting your team. It's like being a magical stage performer but with more life-threatening consequences. Thanks to photogrammetry technology, character creation is as realistic as it gets. You want to be human? Sure. More of a beastren person? Go for it. Fancy pointy elf ears? You can have those too. The possibilities are endless. Coming in at number 4, we have Inzoi, the game that's shaping up to be the next big thing in the world of life simulation. Think of it as Sims on graphical steroids courtesy of Unreal Engine 5. Inzoi is set to land in our virtual lives in late 2024. It gives you plenty of time to bid bye-bye to your social life and prepare for some serious homebody gaming. This isn't just another feed, sleep, retreat simulator. Inzoi is bringing the full spectrum of life's drama, from burning your toast to climbing the corporate ladder, or for the fitness buffs, doing push-ups in military training. And let's not forget the exciting prospect of virtual karaoke sessions, because why go out and embarrass yourself in public where you can do that in the comfort of your own virtual living room. Powered by Unreal Engine 5, Inzoi promises graphics so realistic you might just try to walk into the screen, so be prepared. Every detail from the glossy scene of the environments to the lifelike player models is meticulously crafted. You're stepping into a world where everything is Instagram ready all the time. So get ready to unleash your inner fashionista, because InZoi lets you craft your Zoi with an endless amount of hairstyle, outfits, and accessories. You want a character that looks like an off-duty superhero, or perhaps somebody who could grace the cover of a fashion magazine. The sky's the limit, and with characters aging from babies to the elderly, you can experience life of every stage without the real-world hassle of aging. If you ever thought of yourself as a bit of an interior designer, InZoi's build mode is just the thing for you. From constructing walls to picking out the perfect sofa, it's like playing The Sims, but with the ability to create personalized decorative items. Now, while the exact platforms for InZoi haven't been set in stone, the game's high-end graphics suggest that it might grace the likes of PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. PC gamers, keep your fingers crossed for a Steam release. Number 3, Avowed. From Obsidian Entertainment, who are known for their skills of crafting compelling narratives and rich game worlds, they are taking us back to the world of Aurora. It's like you're returning to your favorite vacation spot, but this time it's with more dragons and less beach time. The living lands aren't just your average RPG backdrop. This place is an ecological wonderland filled with everything from bustling port towns to hills adorned with weird plant life that probably won't try to eat you, maybe? It's the perfect setting for those who thought their last vacation needed more sentient mushrooms and tribes of lizard-like Zarips. And Avowed combat is as flexible as a yoga instructor. Want to go old school with a sword and shield? Sure, do it! Fancy dual-wielding wands like a magical John Wayne? Haha, you got it, baby! How about a sword and gun for when you can't decide if you're in fantasy or in a western? Abso-freaking-lutely! Shoot 'em up and chop 'em up! The game promises a combat system where adapting your strategy is key, making it perfect for those who get bored easily, like me. And also, if you ever wanted to really mess up a fictional world with your questionable decision-making skills, Avowed might be your chance. Your choices in this game matter, like from big, game-altering decisions to the smaller ones that shape your character's relationships. Avowed is all set to release around fall this year on Xbox Series, Windows PC, and Steam, and for the Xbox Game Pass holders, rejoice, for you'll get access to the game from day one. Number 2, Enshrouded. Developed by Keen Games, the brains behind, well, let's just say they're not exactly household names yet, but they're definitely on their way with this one. They've taken the leap from co-op games to single-player survival RPGs. It's just like that quiet cousin at the family reunion. Suddenly they're announcing they're gonna be a lion tamer. Whoa, not expected, but interesting. Welcome to Ember Vale. A world that is probably quite nice before everything went shit. It's your typical post-apocalyptic setting, decaying beauty, roaming mutated creatures, and a mysterious fog known as the Shroud. Dun dun dun. Combat in Enshrouded is described as clunky Souls-like, which sounds a bit like trying to dance ballet in hiking boots. You've got your standard dodging and parrying with a variety of weapons that might feel a tad uninspired. Got swords, axes, bows, staves, you know, they're all there. One of the highlights of Enshrouded is its building system. Praised as one of the best in the genre, here's where you can unleash your inner architect and build everything from towering fortresses to cozy cottages. Just remember, in a world where everything wants to kill you, maybe focus on the fortress, alright? You can play Enshrouded solo, which can be either peaceful or a bit like The Last Person on Earth. It can be a nightmare, but it also supports co-op for up to 16 players. So if you get lonely and you just need somebody to watch your back while you're building your dream apocalypse hideout, you've got options. The game is a bit like a mystery bag that you buy at a charity event. It's got some really cool stuff, and then you got some not so great stuff. And a couple of things that make you wonder what the developers were thinking. But that's the charm of early access games. They're a work in progress, and you get to be a part of their journey, for better or for worse. And number 1, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Oh boy. Square Enix, man, this studio has been making us laugh, cry, and occasionally throw our controllers at the TV. I did that one time, that was a bad choice. Anyways, these are the folks who have an unrivaled talent for weaving stories that stick with us longer than our last girlfriend. Guess like who needs one of those anyways? Anyways, with Rebirth, they're continuing the legacy of the Final Fantasy VII Remake project. Let's just say expectations are as high as Shinra headquarters. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is not just a sequel, it's a standalone game that takes our heroes Cloud, Tifa, Barrett, and Aerith out of the pizza-shaped shitty of Midgar into the wider world. Remember Sephiroth? Yeah, that guy with the sword longer than most of our attention spans. Yeah, the team is chasing after him again. Expect a globe-trotting adventure packed with the usual cocktail of drama, mystery, and personal journeys. And let's not forget the fan-favorite emotional roller coaster moments that we all actually secretly love a lot. Square Enix promises a gaming experience that's as fresh as your New Year's resolutions. While details are a bit like a well-guarded treasure chest, we know the game will feature the series' signature blend of exploration, combat, and story-rich interactions. And yes, there will be spellcasting, sword swinging, and probably some new tricks that will make us rethink our battle strategies. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth brings back our beloved characters, each with their own backstories and motives. These aren't just NPCs though. They're like those best friends who've always got something interesting to say, except now they can wield magic and swords. Ha, that'd be so cool if my friends could do that. The game is set to dive deeper into their personal stories, so expect some heart-tugging moments and possibly a few, whoa, a did not see that coming twists, and we won't have to wait for much longer. Mark your calendars down for early 2024, folks. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is set to launch digitally and physically for the PS5 in just about a month. From cyberpunk cities to mythical adventures, this year is set to be an amazing year for gaming. So, which world are you going to dive into first? Let me know down in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, my wonderful folks, keep on exploring, and I'll see you in the next one.